Warriors Unite! Hey, welcome, my friends. Warriors, how we doing, my friends? Good to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to take a break from working in the yard, putting up a pool this summer. We did that, putting sod around the whole yard, trying to get that done as well. So I'm trying to take a break for a little bit. I want to catch up on a video here, and let's see where we're at. We're going to talk about one, how does semen retention help shyness? Zilyx 5448 suggested that, so we'll do that one today. I got to catch up with a bunch of shout outs, so I'll try to do that pretty soon, but we'll do some today. Ticket booth, 17 days as of this writing, so thank you, my friend. Congratulations. Keep it up. Ben, thank you. Oleg, as usual. Jojo Aces, thank you. JTE Creates, a lot of old-time friends. The Burger King, we just talked about him the other day. Thank you, my friend. Harrison Fletcher, an old-timer. Jhamilton as well. Badbwaymusic, thank you, my friend. Christopher Romano, thank you. Joshdawg and Greater Megamero, thank you, my friend. I appreciate all you guys contributing. I thank you guys for your comments. I thank you guys for your feedback. I thank you guys for your likes. It's always helpful to get good ideas. You guys have given me a bunch of them as well, and I think we'll kind of go back and look at those pretty soon and create a whole new list of ideas and trying to get more topics out there as we go along. I try to do one at least once, twice a week if I can. It just depends on the schedule and things that I go, but we'll try to do that as time goes on here. So, all right, so at the 1 minute and 30 second mark, and I sometimes I forget to put the content place in it. I know you guys like to kind of go through the shout outs a little bit and go to the actual content. At this point, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right, so we're going to talk about something from Zily, who was talking about the fact of how does this help shyness. So let's take a step back and look at this whole picture again of why we talk about retention. Why do we do it with retention? I've seen a number of videos talking about how important retention is. It seems like I see it more and more now. This goes back thousands of years. It just makes perfect sense when you look at this. I mean, it goes back many, many years as far as the importance of semen retention. Now, what is that importance? When you look at this, you're looking at the idea of how can a person keep their energy inside of them. Now, remember, when we talk about energy, we're talking about something that is inherently something God has given you. And as a result of that, this makes you strong. Now, for men, it's a matter of testosterone and nutrients that we have and the vitamins, things that we have in our system that make us do things. If you end up castrating a cat, an animal, something like that, or you take away their ability to have any kind of sexual energy, you'll slow and lighten and make almost the animal docile. The same thing with human beings in many ways. You're trying to control them. And there's some people that talk about the fact that, there's one of the things that's happening in society, and I would tend to agree with this, is that society is trying to give us a message that you should not be masculine, that we should try to kind of lower the masculinity. It's too toxic as far as people are concerned. Well, that's a bunch of nonsense. And the fact is, you need that toxic masculinity, if you call it. You need that in our society. We need to have people who are strongly masculine, not only to protect our nation, to protect our towns, our cities, our families. We need to also to provide. And this is what drives people, their energy level. And their energy level comes from their sexual orientation as young, and a lot of different types of people and theorists and psychologists talked about the importance of trying to have that energy and something that becomes strong with that person. And so as we see this, we kind of look at the fact that as you kind of grow as an individual, your job is to continue to hold that energy, hold that strength that you have. Now, in our society, one of the things that hurts us is the whole idea of temptation. We'll look at trying to release this energy through a lot of emotional stress and, of course, the physical energy through things like masturbation, pornography, all that kind of stuff, and actually having sex, with individuals that we're not intending to marry or we're not intending to procreate. And once again, I go back to the old-fashioned notion that the Bible talks about you should really try to use your sexual energy to procreate. Beyond that, what is really the purpose of what you're trying to do? A little bit of pleasure here and there? Well, short-term pleasure ends up having long-time pain when it comes to sacrificing and things that you're thinking about, because the idea is it's draining you. And so when it's draining you, you're losing all the benefits of that retention. So what is one of the benefits of retention? Well, it's confidence, right? Confidence is something that you have because you're holding on to your energy. You're also using it, you're using it and you're transmuting it. When you're transmuted, that means you're transmuting it to the point where you're actually putting it into other parts of your body to make them strong. And this is why people can have a lot of energy and a lot of more testosterone when they're retaining. And you can look at research studies that show testosterone does go up at times, and it also depends on stress levels and things like that. But when you are retaining, now you're holding on to things and you're a lot more calmer, a lot more relaxed, and you're able to have a lot more confidence in yourself. And because you have a lot more confidence in yourself, you're able then to say, okay, I can have more confidence in myself. I'm going to put this thing back in my visor here. You have a lot more confidence in yourself, and now you're able then to go ahead and use that confidence to accomplish goals and do things around you. And so here's where shyness kind of can be overcome. And I was very, very shy as a young warrior myself. And if I would known a lot of this stuff early on, it would have helped me. And in fact, it kind of went the opposite way, because I basically went into the whole releasing type of thing when I was younger. And as a result of that, I ended up doing more and more, and I become a lot more shy and reserved and afraid to talk to people. And so I didn't go to my high school prom, didn't do a lot of different things like that, because I was just too shy. I was so afraid of being rejected, and obviously the releasing and things like that didn't help me as well. So I'm getting kind of sweat in my eyes here. So the thing is as you're talking about this idea of shyness, semen retention helps you become a confident person. And you're a lot more confident when you're actually able to, make sure I get a little more air in here. So as the thing goes on, as you're talking about this, the idea is that you want to go ahead and say to yourself, okay, I need to build this. I need to build what I'm looking at. I'm trying to build my confidence in myself. Well, retention obviously is one of the most important things. Once you're retaining, your confidence goes up, your attraction level, all the things go up that you're focusing on. And as a result of that, you're not as shy as you are. So when Zily talks about, can semen retention help shyness? Yes, the answer is yes. Because as you're retaining, you're gaining more confidence in yourself, and now you're taking more risk, you're doing more, you're not afraid of situations. In fact, you're out there challenging situations to become better and better and better. And as a result of that, it makes you a stronger person. And the more retaining and the more you're transmuting, and I should do a video on transmuting pretty soon. I haven't done one for a while. But as you transmute more, you're able to focus on using this to become stronger and stronger. And you're unstoppable. This power you have is unbelievable. And it's primarily because I've had a long time of not having it off and on, 47 years of it. So for me to have it now, it's almost like it's superhuman. It's something I was just caught off guard how powerful this is. When I first started 5 years ago or so. I think I'm up to 1,800 days or something like that. So as you look at this, you kind of know that your strength really comes from the idea that you're getting stronger. And I think that pushes you to do this more and more. The shyness is one of those benefits. The attraction is obviously a benefit you have. But again, it goes back to the purpose you have. What is the purpose that you have to retain, right? The purpose, in my mind, should be to get closer to God, which is what my goal is for 12 years. So I have still a long, long way to go. But as you do this more, you become more important. It becomes more important to you than the short-term release. And once you see that, you realize life is a lot different than these sexual escapades people are on all the time and all the stuff they're driving with the sexual stuff they're doing. There's a lot more to this life than that. And obviously, the more spiritual you become, the stronger you become spiritually, the closer you get to God. And then you get closer to God's purposes, and then all the other things tend to kind of fall in place better. But the strength becomes the fact that you're able to control yourself. You're not getting distracted. And this focus on achieving your goal, trying to set your goals, finish your goals, not get distracted by life around you is a key type of thing. And so as you focus on this, the key is going to be, can I control myself? The battle is not with other people. I know we get a very competitive world we're in, but the battle is not with other people. You're not trying to beat other people. You may think like that. That's maybe something that's been talked about for a long time. But the goal is really not to compete with other people. The goal really is to compete with yourself. And that's the key to the whole thing. Compete with yourself and better yourself by self-control. Now, once you're able to self-control yourself, now you're at the point where now you're trying to do better and better in other things. That's why you take hot showers all the time. I'm sorry, that's why I take cold showers all the time, not hot showers. I was thinking about hot showers. But cold showers all the time. That's why I go ahead and look at the nutrition I have. I continue working out. It motivates you to do other things because now you have all that abundance of energy. You're going to have a lot more energy. And if you drink water, if you do other things like that, you're actually going to become stronger and stronger. And so you're going to become a force. And that's what you want to become. The whole idea of attraction and, overcoming confidence and shyness is you become a presence. Do not care what other people think about you. Just do your own thing. Now, I could say that at 64 years old. Right? I've lived through a lot of different situations, and I can tell you, I wasn't always like that. Most of the time, I wasn't like this. It's only been recently. But with the power you're getting from your retention, and in my case, my age, which I don't really, it kind of helps me in some ways, obviously. But the thing is I don't really care. And so women's attraction, whether they like me or not, is not as important as it was when I was in my 20s. As for those in your 20s and 30s, I understand your situation. I understand perfectly. But I will tell you this, that you should not be doing the chasing. This misnomer in society, this Disney model I call it all the time, where people look and say, okay, the prince should be chasing the princess. The prince should be lucky if the princess, picks the prince. That's all hogwash. That should have been the opposite situation because the fact of the matter is, women are the ones who are having the children. They have to pick the mate they want to have a child with. So they're the ones choosing. So you're the one that becomes, what are you going to call the table or whatever you want to call it, not the female. We've been talking in this society and using the society in a different way to kind of focus on a whole different matter. But the fact of the matter is, don't listen to what society is telling you. The fact of the matter is you have a lot of worth. Now, we give it up at times because our presence is not strong. A lot of men succumb to women, want their validation, their approval, and they feel miserable. And the reason why males feel miserable is because they're not like that. Males should be hunters. They're wolves. They're lions. You should be taking the attack and getting things done. Women are there. They're great companions, great people to be with, no doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is you should be running your own life. You should not be sitting there trying to make women happy. And I say that, I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but you should be trying to better yourself all the time. Your value goes up the more you get better yourself. Women will always be there. I've told my friends, my family, the women will always be there. They want a man. They're looking for men. They're desperate for men who will go their own way. And so they can chase. They do not like to make the decisions. They do not want men chasing them. It puts a lot of pressure on them. They may not tell you that, but I sense that all the time. And I see that. I talk with women over the years all the time. And they will say that. They don't want that. They rather have somebody that they can actually chase in their own way because it then means more. Because there's no reason why a woman should be put on a pedestal just for her own, just because of her beauty. But we do it all the time. And this is where you get into the shyness and rejection, because then people are afraid to talk to these women because they're too good looking. Never be afraid to talk to any woman because of how they look. Remember, a lot of it is makeup. A lot of it is the way they're dressed. All those things play a factor. I'm not saying they're not beautiful people, but I'm saying it's an illusion you're looking at. And a lot of times when you're in love with somebody, it's more of a projection of love for you. It's almost like what you're looking for. And so Carl Jung said this as a psychology. He once said that people really don't fall in love. What they're doing is they're actually projecting something that they want, and they see this woman or man in the position they want, and they fantasize about that. But that person is really not like that person. That's what they want, and so they get a little, disappointed, and that's when relationships start to fall apart, because the man and woman are acting differently than they fantasize about or they wanted to. And so it makes a big difference in how they look at this. So again, looking at the idea of shyness. Retention can help shyness because it builds your confidence level. And once it builds your confidence level, now you can talk to people, you can approach people, you can go up to people. And you'll know that retention kicks in when you start feeling confident and you're not afraid of rejection. That's the point where you know it's happening. Now, I know some people talk about, well, they haven't seen the effects of SR, they haven't seen the true power of it. Well, that takes some time, especially if you've been, in my situation, 47 years, you can't get rid of that in 1 year. It took some time for me to see the effect of this. Once I did that, all of a sudden things started taking off a lot better. And they've been ever since. But the bottom line is you will build that power, that strength. And now you'll look at life and saying, I don't really have a need to do this anymore. I have no need to release anymore. Why? The short-term pleasure I'm getting in a couple seconds is then filled with guilt and all kinds of other stuff afterwards. And I've drained myself for nothing. There's no procreation, nothing going on. And remember, we talk about this. We talked about the energy suckers, vampire suckers for years. We've been talking about this. Women are attracted to you because of your presence, your energy. Your energy attracts women. I don't care how good you're looking you are. People will be attracted because of the energy they see. Women know a man who's retaining. They see it. They sense it, right? They may not say it. They may not even realize why they're reacting, but they'll smile, they'll flirt, they'll do all kinds of stuff because they know this is an unusual man. He is not tempted. And when you don't be tempted, all of a sudden you become a valuable, dangerous, but valuable person. And now as a result of that, now women will end up chasing you because they're so intrigued about this mysterious person who can say no to me, right? You can look at a woman who's naked and say no. That's very rare in our society. But if you can do that point and you can see that, you become a different person. You're in high demand. Now, the question then becomes, again, as we always talk about this, you have to make a choice. What is this person? What are these people? What's the impact they're having in life? Why are you doing this? Why is this woman important to you? Is she really that important to you? Or is there something to build your ego? Make you validate yourself in some way? If it is, then I would say maybe you should rethink of this one. And take a step back and saying, okay, I don't need to release to this situation. I don't need to be sleeping with this person, right? This is not getting me anywhere. And the bottom line is I don't need validation that much to be chasing after this type of thing. But going back to the whole idea that Zily was talking about here. Shyness is a concern lots of people have. But part of the problem, shyness with men, is the fact that they're releasing. And you need to kind of stop releasing first, and then you'll see your confidence grow. And as a result of that, you can talk to anybody, and I think you can overcome your shyness a lot better. So as time goes on, I think as you get older, if you're a teenager right now listening to this, it's going to be hard. It takes some time. But if you try retaining, you try to transmute that energy, and we'll talk about that in a separate video, then you'll be able to kind of look at yourself and say, I'm an improved person. And because of that, I have a lot more confidence. I can stand up to people. And you know this if you can disagree with people, especially beautiful women. If a woman says something and you agree with her right away and you want to validate, you want her validation, you're playing that simp behavior I talk about all the time. There are so many simps out there. Women are used to having simps all the time. Whether in DMs, whether or not being contacted one way or the other, they're used to it. You're a real man. You don't need any of that stuff at all. You shouldn't be on Facebook, all types of things looking like that. Don't even bother wasting time. Unless you're going to hook up with the person somehow and talk to the person, those conversations, do they really have any meaning for you? They probably don't. And so you should probably avoid those as you go along. Anyway, shyness is something that is really something that can be helped along with your confidence level. So keep practicing retention. Keep going ahead and doing this. Keep on your goals, and anything will be fine. All right, Zily, thank you for your question. I'm going to sweat and get a sweat in my eyes here. So I think I'm going to end this one. Up until next time, guys, when I always say two things, you guys. One, every day is a great day to a great warrior, and you guys are great warriors all the time. And second, through all this heat we got, all this type of thing going on here, keep battling, because the devil is trying to tempt you any way they can. And they're going to keep, up until the last day you're here, keep battling all the time. Put your helmet on, shield on, all this kind of stuff, and continue to battle on! Take care, my friends. Have a great day.